topic, and it's some of the topic that has been flying around both in real life and social media. A lot of people have been talking and saying different things, but yeah, we have amazing guests with us, and Mr. Jare Tiamiu is the team lead of Vote But Not Fight. Thank you so much for coming to this program this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. Very good morning to you, everyone. How's that?
All right, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we're talking about basically the sensitization of people getting their voters card and also voting for the right people, and we encouraging our viewers out there to avoid violence. Instead, they should vote for their conscience and return home. And then among that, we are also discussing presidential elections and the candidates of different political parties, that they should try as much as possible to avoid hate speech and more other things like that we'll be discussing this morning. And Mr. Tiamiu, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
So where do we start from? The old PVC collection, the sensitization for people to collect their voters card.
Yes, I think that is the first thing. That is the most important. But you know, if you look at it, as at early December, the REC in Osun State said we have over 400,000 uncollected PVCs in Osun. If you look at 400,000 people
that's a lot
that have not collected their PVC, it means even when you look at the election that brought in the current governor, he had about 403,000, which means the people that are enough to decide the fate of of a state have not collected their PVC, and that is very big. And then when you look at it, look at the total election that we had in Osun State, we had about over 810,000 votes, total votes. Then when we have about 400,000 that have not collected their PVC, that means only about half of those people that voted, half of them have not collected their PVC. Which means if we have those people, we add the numbers to what we have on ground, it means we are going to have over 1.2 million people. And that is a very huge one. Absolutely. Across the country, INEC said that we have 93 million people that have registered, but we have about 10 million people have not collected their PVCs across the country. Wow. And then when you now look at the uncollected PVCs, you realize that the people that are up, that's the numbers that are up to determine the fate of Osun or of Nigeria, have not collected their PVC. The President Muhammadu Buhari in his second term had about 40 million.
40 million votes.
40 million votes. In his first time, he had about 15 million votes. So if we look at these numbers, it shows that at least if these people can collect their PVCs, and it means we have a very good number, turnouts during the election.
Okay, talking about people, sensitizing people to actually get their PVC, can we actually talk about what are those requirements for collecting PVC, in the sense that there are some people that are registered online, and some of them, when you go to the polling unit or you want to collect your PVC, they refer you back to where you are actually registered, that you would be voting and all that. What has been like, I don't know if there's been like something like a rectification to something like that will enable people that I know in the particular location to collect their PVC.
I think what the INEC has done in the recent times is very simple. Okay. Before it was like people, the INEC, you go to their offices, the local government offices, to collect the PVC. But as we speak now, you can get it at the ward. Then during the registration, ward. That's what they call registration area. All wards now. All wards, yes. Okay. Even in Osun, 332 wards, you can get your PVC at your wards, where the ward they are to register. Okay. During the registration, we have two phases. There was one that you start online, but you cannot complete it online. You still need to go physical. You go to where you are registered. One thing is this: if you register in Osun and you want your PVC, you vote in Osun, what is important, as we speak today, you have to come back to Osun wherever you are residing to come and collect your PVC.
Okay.
That is the process now.
Okay.
Then, for those that, it is very seamless as we speak now. When you go to your ward, at least I've been there, and I can see that we have less than, we have less than 20 persons attended to on a day. As in, that's the number of people that come to collect. So if you look at it, means it is seamless, and then people can just get it on a go. And then, for now, as we speak, you cannot collect it online.
Okay.
You can only come to where you register to collect it. That is the process for now.
All right. Thank you so much for that. So if you're watching us and you want to collect your PVC, your voter's card, basically you have to travel down. If you're not in a particular location, you have to travel down to wherever you registered your PVC to just get them. Okay, so what is the deadline for collecting PVC now? So we can
INEC Rec in Osun was at some places the earlier this week, and where he was sensitizing people on the need to get the PVC collected. And he said they have extended the collection at the ward level by a week till the end of this month, and then the collection at local government level will continue, and then maybe till some weeks to the election. So that means by the 10th or 15th, the collection should be over, because the election is on 25, and then the collections cannot just continue until the day of election. So, but the INEC will give us the announcement when the time comes.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Okay, so let's just talk a bit about the violence during election, because I think that's one of the major I would say major fears of the citizens about voting. You hear a lot of people talking about do not go out on the election day because it's going to be bloody. A lot of people are being terrified as regarding voting. So how do you have to say about that?
That is why we say we have this campaign. We call it Vote Not Fight campaign. Our organization, the Insight Initiative for Community and Social Development, is the partner in Osun, and then it's a nationwide campaign. It has started in 2017, and if you look at the elections, we are getting it better.
Okay.
Let me use Osun as an example.
Okay.
The election in Osun in 2018, we have Osun 1 and Osun 2. Osun 1 was peaceful, people exercise their franchise without issues, without crises or anything. But the Osun 2, it was a little bit bloody because of the political atmosphere, and then the politicians' effects. That's the truth, because it was the politicians that actually made it the way it was. Now, the Osun 2022 governorship election. Before the election, there were issues. There will be crises. Don't go out. They will kill people. They will do all this.
Absolutely.
But during the election, on the day of election, I was on the field, and if you realize that Osun election happened to be, if not in the history of Osun, it is the most peaceful in the history of Osun.
Okay.
And then if we talk about nationwide, we may say, okay, when we talk of 1993 election, maybe that was, actually say that is unarguably the freest and then the most credible election in the history of Nigeria. But as far as Osun is concerned, the 2022 governorship election, we recorded no violence. Now, let's now look at it, the factors that actually constituted that. Number one, when we wanted to start the team in Osun, the campaign in 2018, we looked at the stakeholders. Not only the politicians this time around. In the Vote Not Fight team in Osun, we have a member of the team that is from the NURTW. We have one from the Akomoran. We have Akomoran, the motorcycle riders.
Oh, nice.
We have from Road, that is the other union in the transport sector.
Okay.
We have the three of them. We have the people with disability. Then we have NGOs from different sectors. Why do we need all those people? Because we realize that no matter how, we have a member from National Youth Council of Nigeria. If we want to talk about the people constituting violence, it's not the politicians that will go on the streets and with cutlass and machetes, with guns, all this and that. It is the people And when you look at the category of people that I've mentioned, you realize that they are critical to having peaceful election in Nigeria. The union, the National Union of Road Transport Workers, their sister agency, their sister union, that is the road, then their common, and then different organizations, the youth. That is what we did. Now, we started from, we met with different politicians, all the candidates. We met with them, where we told them that, sir, if you want to govern Osun, you need a peaceful Osun to govern. You cannot govern a rancorous Osun state. A crisis engulf Osun state. There is no way anybody can say you want to govern Osun. We have crisis here and there. And I used to tell people, we are all stakeholders. I'm from Ilobu, in the record of local government here. Okay. This is our state. And that is what we will tell politicians. Patriotism first. Know that if you want to govern Osun, you need an Osun that is peaceful. Absolutely. If you don't have Osun, there is no way to govern. If there is a crisis here and there is no way to govern. Now, what we are doing now, what we did in that time, we are still doing it this time around. Okay. We are moving on to tell the politicians that, look here, what you say actually carries weight. If a politician says, if you are campaigning and you are saying, you know that kind of word, that kind of statement, you are telling your followers that whatever you want to do is allowed. You can cause violence, but when a politician is saying, we have a presidential candidate, even a sitting president, that says, my ambition is not worth the blood of a single Nigerian. Which means when we continue to have that, and you know that statement was actually what gave us peace in Nigeria in 2015. Absolutely. So if politicians can just continue to throw that path, that's the very good part I want everybody to throw. There is no way you want to govern a state or a country that is, full of crisis here and there. You cannot have peace. And also, when we say vote not fight, we have seen several campaigns here and there, and then we've told people, I want to send this message to the people of our analysis have shown that Osun East in the last few weeks has a lot of crisis. There have been crises especially in the state local government in Ijesha land. We are using this period to call on all the House of Reps candidates, all the senatorial candidates in Osun East, to please let us have peace in that region. This is Osun. We are Omoluabi people. And we should continue to tell people that this is the land of Omoluabi. And then we should continue to tell our politicians that, please, when a politician says, we are going to revenge, I want to say this. The politicians are saying that when he was in government, he did this. So whatever happens to him is just people repaying him what he has done. But that is not what we want. We want an Osun that is peaceful. We want an Osun that, I'm a journalist by trade. I'm a journalist. I still practice. And I can say that when you write reports and you see reports from different quarters, we are not happy with what is happening in Osun East, in Jeshaland to be precise. And it's not one political party, especially the two leading parties, APC and PDP, and also some members of Labour Party too. They need to accommodate themselves. They need to allow peace to reign in that axis. And that is one of those messages that we are sending to the people. And then that is one of those things that we say, vote not fight, election no be war. Election is just a trumpet. You don't need to go on election day, and that's another issue. People go on election day and you see politicians mobilizing thugs to disrupt the process. That is another thing. Politicians, when they are preparing,
you see, that's another aspect. We're talking about thugs and those that causes the commotion during election. I think we need. Thank God you are here. I'd like to know what are the things that you have done in particular to making sure that you educate people that these politicians are using basically to cause riot and violence during election, to educate them that you getting money from politicians to disrupt an election process or whatever is not the way forward. What are the things that you've done, sir?
Yes, before the 2022 governorship election that we had in July, apart from meeting with political candidates, we went to different new company of Osun. We went to meet with all the. We went to several motor parks to talk to the transport union members, and we tell them, if they ask you to go and cause violence, tell the that candidate that okay, you will do it, but his or her own children must also follow you. And let us see if they will allow that.
Of course not.
If they ask you to go and cause violence wherever they want to, you go and do it. Fine. Just tell them that's fine, I will do it. But when I'm going, I want your first son or your daughter to follow me. So when we get there, whatever happens, we'll be part of it. So we are enlightening our people. Then also, we go to markets where we tell our parents that, tell your children, we know that you don't have that energy to cause violence again. But you need to tell your children that anybody among you in this palace, we tell them in the palace, let them know the child of whom they are. Let them know that these people we have several people that were killed in 2018 governorship election. The last spent is 4 years. Whether you like it or not. In 2007 governorship election in Osun, we knew what we experienced. People that died that time, they died for their parents, they died for their family. Nobody will remember them after that. You cannot tell me that because somebody had died, the best thing they can do for such a person is 1 minute silence during the political campaign and say, please let us rise for some of our members that have lost their life. And after that 1 minute silence, your parents will suffer. Your family will suffer. So we have been telling people
back to the normal way.
Yes, everybody go back. So now we have been telling people, and then after that, we organize several seminars for people. And as we speak today, we are participating in different programs. Like on Sunday, we were at Osogbo Township Stadium, where a lawmaker in Osun is organizing a football contest and the final. We had the governor at that program, and we ensure that we preach peace. We tell our people that please don't cause violence. And then even on Saturday, there is a Osun Youth Conference and Award where we had a large number of Osun youth participating in that program. We are also there to say, okay, the people of Osun, the youth of Osun, let us ensure that we preach violence. These are the avenues that we are using. I've participated at a stakeholder meeting organized by a community. We had a very good attendance, and I realized that there was going to be a very good attendance. So we sent our people to be part of that program, to tell, and then on that day we had about 200 persons, different clusters of the community. We have the areas, and then we have all the unions, all the association present. So what we did on that day was to tell people that please tell your parents, tell your children not to cause violence. And then those are one of the things. And then as we are moving, we still continue to move. And we have another thing that we call the gain advocacy, Governor's Agenda for Inclusive Nigeria. What that's all about is that we seek commitment of candidates, of leading political parties, to tell them that there is this document that will present to them that when you get to power, you will ensure inclusion of youth, women, and people with disability. We are so particular about those three categories of people because of what we have experienced. We are like, these are the least, the marginalized people. When they do something for a person with disability, they see it as a privilege. I can phone you now, but it is all right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that amazing and enlightening words. And I hope you all have learned one or two things from Mr. Jare, and really, that was really commendable. Well done, sir. I would love to ask that is the government compensating you or not? But you already say it's an NGO.
It's an NGO. we have partners. Soon. Okay. It is our organization, Inside the Initiative for Community and Social Development. Okay. We have a Southwest coordinator, that is NEGAD. And then we have the national sponsor, that is NDI, National Democratic Institute. They are the ones sponsoring.
Thank you so much. And
TV is a very nice one.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have learned one or two things, and please do well to get your voters card ready before the end of the month, January. Thank you so much for joining. Lope Akin signing out.
Another wonderful morning, sport fans, and welcome to AM Sports on Osbc Tv. Iliaviyo Kebale Oshogo Motayo Adebodo is my name, welcoming you on board of this morning once again. And yes, so many Premier League, just the Premier League action yesterday, and of course, and an FA Cup action for Leeds United yesterday, in which they got the better of their opponents, Cardiff City 5-2. And yes, of course, the Coppa Italia continued yesterday, and the Nigerian Professional Football League results of Nigeria Women's Football League as well. It didn't look good for Ocean Babes going to Imo State yesterday, as they were defeated by Atlantic Queens 2-0. But starting with the result of matches decided in the English Premier League, it was a 1-1 draw between Crystal Palace and Manchester United. Well, Crystal Palace at home welcomed Manchester United, which ended in a 1-1 draw, courtesy of a late strike from, a late free kick from Mikel Olise in that encounter. And of course, African Nations Championship continued yesterday, where DR Congo and Ivory Coast played out a goalless draw, while Uganda defeated Senegal 1-0. Well, for the FA Cup result, it was a 5-2 Mulholland for Leeds United against Cardiff City. Well, going to getting 2 goals in that encounter, and Patrick Bamford getting a brace as well in that encounter. Well, moving on to the Coppa Italia and the Milan derby, it ended in the favor of the Blue Milans. Talking about the Inter Milan, 3-0 in favor of Inter Milan against AC Milan yesterday to dump out AC Milan in the Coppa. To dump out AC Milan in the out of the Coppa Italia. Well, these was the result yesterday. They didn't look good for AC Milan. It hasn't been looking good for them recently, but we hope their form will just continue to get better, fight and defend the title which they won last season. Well, moving on, Copa del Rey matches. It was a 4-0 win for Valencia over Sporting Gijon, while Athletic Bilbao pipped Espanyol 1-0. Atletico Madrid defeated Levante 2-0, and via penalty shootout, Osasuna defeated Real Betis, having played out a 2-all draw in regulations time. Well, those are some of the selected matches that were decided yesterday. And of course, coming back home to the Nigeria Premier Football League in Group A, it was goalless between Enyimba and Aqua United yesterday. This share the spoil. And of course, in Group B, Abia Warriors were 3-1 winners over Bayelsa United, while Dakada FC Piba defeated Wiki Tourist 2-1 in that encounter. And of course, Lobby Stars were 1-0 winners against Enugu Rangers, and those are some of the matches in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Today, matches continue as far as EPL is concerned and other selected leagues. 9 p.m. is the match between Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur at the Etihad Stadium. Yes, Manchester City will be at home welcoming Tottenham Hotspur, while for the African Nations Cup, the African Nations Championship, rather, the match between Madagascar and Morocco has been cancelled due to one or two reasons, while Ghana and Sudan's match will continue as planned by 8 p.m. Well, Copa del Rey, AD Ceuta FC will play against Barcelona by 8 p.m., while Villarreal will be up against Real Madrid by 9 p.m. in the Coppa Italia. Atalanta will play against Spezia, while Lazio will be playing against Bologna. 9 p.m. is the match between Juventus and Monza in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Bendel Insurance 4 p.m. today will play against Plateau United. El Kaneme Warriors against Nasarawa United. Gombe United up against Remo Stars. Shooting Stars up against Kwara United. Those are the matches in the first group, talking about Group A. And in the Group B of the Nigeria Premier Football League, Niger Tornadoes will play against Doma United, and Sunshine Stars of Akure will play against Rivers United. Those are the matches to expect today as far as Nigeria Nigeria Premier Football League is concerned. Well, so many surprises and home away win in the first match day one, which was a good one. And of course, later the president of the Nigeria Football Federation came to actually laud all officials all officials in that that were responsible for that game, and of course lauding them that these was the kind of matches or results that we want in the Nigeria Professional Football League. And of course, match day, match week 7 in the Nigeria Women's Football League saw Bayelsa Queens. They were defeated at home by Delta Queens. Delta Queens defeated Bayelsa Queens, while Atlanta Queens defeated Osun Babes in that encounter. Royal Queens played out a goalless draw with Rivers Angels, and Nasarawa Amazons were 2-1 winners over Abia Angels. Robo Queens were 3-0 winners against Adamawa Queens, while Ibom lost at home to Confluence Queen 1-0 in that encounter. Well, we hope the tide will soon change for the women's football team in the state. Talking about Osun Babes FC, for the past 5 matches, it has been loss for them. And we would just only hope that things would turn around for them. And moving on this morning, Rafael Nadal has been dumped out of the Australian Open. Note no longer a news, but we understand at the moment that Raducanu as well was dumped out of the Australian Open yesterday. Well, in the second round by Kuku Gov. Coco Gauff dumped her out, and of course, the Raducanu has no doubt she can compete with the very best after pushing 7th seed Coco Gauff in a gallant defeat at the Australian Open. And of course, the British number one rolled her ankle just 13 days before the second round match, needing crochet and a protective boot afterwards. And of course, Raducanu tested world number 7 Coco Gauff, one of the tournament favorite, and had 2 set points to take her out into the decider before losing 6-3, 7-4. And of course, asked if it proved she could challenge at the top players on the regular basis, and Raducanu said that she has no doubt she was competitive, and in 5-hour practice and 2 days 3 week for the past 2-3 weeks she's had a last match. And Raducanu struggled for fitness and form since a stunning triumph in the US Open in 2021. Of course, as an unknown teenager, and she's been battling one injury or the other throughout last season. And Gauff, who is 18 years, was a considerable step up in class from Raducanu's previous opponent, Tamara Kopache, and the Briton caused problems for last year's French Open finalist with aggressive approach, particularly in the second set. Of course, she's moved on. She's moved on to the next round of the competition, talking about the Australian Open. Of course, still talking about the women's category. Greek sister seed Maria Sakkara avoided a shock defeat when she came back to defeat a teenager. When she came back to defeat teenager, talking about Daria Schneider in the Australian Open. Schneider is 18 years still to join the professional ranks as she plays in the American college system, but threatens an upset by winning the first set. But Sakkari regrouped to win 3-6, 7-6, 6-3, taking a third match point. And of course, Polish Iga Swiatek and American Jessica Pegula had fewer problems winning their matches. Moving on this morning, Rafael Nadal. Injured Rafael Nadal says he is mentally destroyed after the Australian Open title defense came to an end in the second round, and the spinner struggled with a left hip problem as he fell to a 6-4, 6-3, 7-3 defeat by American Martin McDonald. The 36-year-old said he was carrying the injury before the match, but the pain had been nothing like he felt yesterday. And of course, speaking at the post-match conference, the 22 Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal said he felt he cannot move after the earliest exit at the Grand Slam since 2016 Australian Open, when he was eliminated from the first round. I think it is getting closer for him to just go back and try and retire. Do like Roger Federer. It's done. Just the body is no longer available. The body is telling on him at the moment. 36 years old and playing tennis at the top level. Moving on this morning, more than the world's richest club by revenue at the Premier League, according to analysis by Deloitte. And 11 Premier League clubs make up to the top 20 in their Money League study for the 2021-22 season, and it is the first time in the study's 26 years that more than half of the clubs are from the same league. And champions Manchester City retain top spot, making 731 million euros, approximately 619.1 million pounds, ahead of Real Madrid's 713.8 million euros. Liverpool rises to third from seventh, while Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal also makes the top 10, with West Ham, Leeds United, Leicester United, Everton and Newcastle United in the top 20. And the top 20 and made 9.2 billion euros, a 13% increase from 2020. 2021, and that increase is largely down to the return of fans to stadia for the first full stay season after COVID-19 restrictions, which matched the revenue rising from rising from 111 million euros to 1.4 billion euros. And well, 5 of the Premier League big six, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur reportedly revenue increase of 15% of more, and that saw a total increase of 226 million euros. And of course, from the top 10, let's look at top 10 at the moment. Manchester City tops at the table, followed by Real Madrid on second, Liverpool third, and Manchester United fourth rather. Manchester third rather, and fifth is Paris Saint-Germain, followed by Bayern Munich on sixth, Barcelona seventh, Chelsea eighth, Tottenham at 9, and Arsenal 10th, Juventus 11, Atletico Madrid at 12, Borussia Dortmund 13th, Inter Milan 14th, 15th is West Ham United, AC Milan 16th, Leicester City 17, and Leeds United 18, and Everton 19, while Newcastle United are 20th on that particular table. And of course, moving on this morning, because of our time, Arsenal have launched an investigation into two disturbing incidents of anti-Semitism during the North London derby win against Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday. And the Gunners says one Arsenal supporter reportedly reported another for making grossly offensive comments, and meanwhile anti-Semitic chants were also alleged to have been heard at a pub in Elston. And of course, the Premier League leaders added in a statement that they are aware of the two disturbing incidents, and of course they are investigating the matter at the moment. Of course, very quickly this morning, let's let you know that decisions are made by video assistant referee are set to be explained to television viewers and those in the stadium at next month's Club World Cup. And International Football Association board IFAB says if the trial in Morocco is a success, then it could be rolled out at other FIFA competitions, and that could include this Summer Women's World Cup, and meanwhile a temporary condition substitute trial in the Premier League. Premier League next season has been ruled out, and it was decided when IFAB met at Wembley on Wednesday following the request from the World Players Union, FIFA Pro and the World League Forum to test the protocol in the English top flight League One in France and Major League Soccer in the United States. All right, from there, let's quickly wrap up with story of Pep Guardiola saying or taking the blame for Erling Haaland's recent mini goal scoring drought, and Haaland has hit an incredible 27 goals in all competitions since joining from Borussia Dortmund in the summer. And he has taken the blame, and Manchester City are 8 points behind leaders Arsenal in the title race and host Tottenham Hotspur today by 8 p.m. And City have won the Premier League 4 times in the past 5 seasons, and Guardiola says he is enjoying the chase so far this time, but he's taking all the blames for the sloppy performance of Erling Haaland. Finally, this morning, onto some transfer stories before we wrap up. As we understand, Paris Saint-Germain were prepared to let France striker Kylian Mbappe, who's 24 years, join Liverpool last summer, but he rejected the potential move and made a report linking him to Real Madrid. Well, West Ham United have made an offer for Aston Villa's 30-year-old English striker Daniel Ings with the view of strengthening their forward option as the relegation-threatening side struggles for goal. And Arsenal will not panic into buying in January after missing out on Ukrainian winger Mykhailo Mudryk, who is 22 years, to Chelsea, and prepared to wait until summer before going into West Ham to get Declan Rice, who happens to be Chelsea's target as well. West Ham United tried to sign England defender Harry Maguire, who is 30 years, on loan, but their move was rejected by Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag, who is keen to keep the England captain at Old Trafford for the rest of this season. And Everton may be tempted to replace manager Frank Lampard, who is 44 years, with former boss David Moyes, who is 59 years, despite the squad's position at West Ham being under threat with both clubs in the Premier League relegation zone. And of course, Moye faces sack if West Ham lose their Premier League relegation showdown against Everton at the London Stadium on Saturday. And Tottenham Hotspur for 30-year-old forward, Brazilian forward Lucas Moura, whose contract at Spurs expires this year. And finally, this morning, Nottingham Forest are in talks to sign Newcastle United New Zealand striker Chris Wood, who is 31 years on loan with the option to buy. And finally, Manchester United have made an improved contract offer to 18-year-old Argentine Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho made report of interest from Real Madrid. We need to wrap up now. Many thanks to everyone that made this production possible this morning. Omotayo Adebodun is my name, and Moedin Adeleke is the producer of this program. Until tomorrow morning again, I say don't stop loving sport and enjoy the rest of your day. Good morning.